Hey, hi, hello, friends. And you're right, I am fully submerged in blue now. Hi guys, how are you doing? It's the same day as my previous video, which is basically Thursday night. So if any of my information is out of date, well, now you know why. I actually wanted to talk really quickly about something. Chantel has had a lot of rage in her actual just community tab post, and she's been going back and forth and just rage, right? Like, she's been extremely angry in her community tab, and she's done this for many years, but honestly, I haven't seen a rant quite like this in some time. So I figured we could go through her posts, talk about them a little bit. This will not, of course, be everything. She posts like a ton of pictures and stuff on there, which, you know, after the rage was over, I just sort of stopped because they're not all that interesting. And I have one clip that's inserted towards the end, and that's Chantel being homophobic. So my original thought was that I would address her homophobic comment in a lot more detail. But the longer that I thought about it, the less I thought I would be able to add anything intelligent or anything salient, because that's not my lived experience, and I'm not like a scholar of this. I'm not a scholar of, you know, just prejudices against people who are a part of the LGBTQIA plus community. And so I don't want to speak out of my ass on something that I don't know as much about. So I thought that I would let the words of Zachary Michael and Pulpy Syntax, both of whose videos I will link, hopefully in the cards above, but if not, then definitely at least below. Sometimes I'm not great with figuring out how to get the cards. Like, it'll ask me for like additional stuff, and I don't know how to do that. So, but I will definitely leave them linked. So if you guys can, please go check their videos out. Please go watch them. As for this video, I'm going to talk about her community tab post because I think it's funny, and I hope that it gets a bunch of views. And I'm going to be doing something that I've done once before as well, which is that all the money that this video makes in like a month, I will match 1-to-1 out of pocket, and I will be donating to the Trevor Foundation. I just thought, you know, I wanted something good to come out of this, but same thing as last time, I wanted something good to come out of Chantel's ignorance. I'm going to leave them linked down below as well. So if you guys can, you know, please do go and donate. And it's, you know, it's a great cause. And I think that if you can do anything with your money, I think putting it towards making the lives of other people better and slowly defeating, you know, just the society that we live in, this ultra, you know, consumeristic society that we live in. I think that's the way we can do it. That's the way that we can make the world a better place. And this way something good comes out of Chantel, you know? All right, that's a lot of ranting and rambling from me. Let's actually talk about her community tabs. Okay, so this is the first one. I'm gonna pause the video on my end so you guys can also read it on screen if you want to pause and read it. Listen, I want to have a good day. I want to force myself out of bed and finally try to move the heck on. I want to cook and clean and go live and hang out with you guys, but I don't want to talk about him because I know it's over for us as a couple if we ever were one to begin with. I feel like everything was a lie. And it pretty much was. I'm so emotionally tired and drained. I'm mad that he still denies it. I'm mad at myself that I believed him. I feel like I should play clown music. Like, I feel like I should have come on here with like a red nose and like full on white makeup, because that would have captured the feel of this text post right before her Montreal text post so well. He's like, I want to have a good day. No one is stopping you from having a good day. She's like, I just want to do all of these things. I want to force myself out of bed. And that's the thing about Chantel. It's always forced. It's always, she needs someone to push her in that direction, right? That's why she wants him to admit it. That's why she's like trying to pressurize him into like saying, you cheated on me, you cheated on me. Because then it can maybe force her to move on. She's hoping that him admitting it will be the catalyst to get her to actually change her behavior and move on. Not realizing it that, like, you can't force anybody to do anything. Just like, you know, she says all the time, she's like, I can date whoever I want. I can't force you to not date him. I can't force you to not see him. I can't force you to choose differently. But just like you, I can't force you, you can't force me, right? And no one else can force you into breaking up with this man. That's what she actually wants. She wants someone to compel her, someone to force her into it, just like she does with her diets. She's like, commit me, I want impatient so that, I'll be like forced to lose weight the way that Life by Jen is. The problem is that they only do that to people who are in like dire straits, like Life by Jen, who is, honestly, she looks like she's at death's door. They're not going to like force you into inpatient treatment. They're going to be like, nope, you gotta. And if you gotta lose that weight, you gotta do all of this. It's just not how that works. They don't force you into changing your behavior. And more importantly, even if they could, right? Say that they drop Chantel into the middle of like an eating rehabilitation program where they like monitor you all the time. You don't have any access to your phone. They force feed you only a certain amount of food and you lose like 100 pounds. The impulse that drives you to eat is still going to be there. So you're still going to eat. You're still going to eat a bunch of food. You're still going to overindulge wherever you can. And worse, you might transfer some of your addiction into like other more harmful avenues. Like I know someone who had a family member of theirs, I don't want to give away too much information, who had a family member of theirs go to Alcoholics Anonymous, I think is what it's called. But they went through like a whole program. Rehab, that's the word I was looking for. They went to rehab for alcohol and they ended up with a drug addiction because they didn't teach them how to deal with cross addictions. And they had addicts from all walks of life in that same program. And there was actually a pretty high rate of that happening. So you need to be able to handle your emotions by yourself to be able to be in a place where you can just be like, all right, it's cool. I can let this go. I can move on. I can like be different. And that's that's a thing with this guy too. No one can make you leave him. You have to decide to leave him, and then you have to tough out all of the feelings that come afterward. And God, girl, I gotta imagine that it's gonna be easier to deal with the feelings afterwards than it is to deal with the feelings now. But I think the reason why she doesn't want to let him go is not just she's like, oh, I'll be lonely and all this and all that. I think there's a deeper reason because she'll have to reckon with the fact that, okay, well, if this was not a good relationship for me, right? And if everybody else was right about that, were they also right about the other things? Is he also like a manipulative person? Is he also using me for my money? Is he also, a drug dealer? She might have to reckon with all of those things as well. And I think that the way that Chantel looks at it, she would rather like be dead than admit any one of us was right about anything, especially when it comes to her life, that anyone may know better than her about what she should be doing with her life. God forbid Chantel need outside assistance. And then the next post is, hi guys, so I'm in Montreal for the night, visiting some friends, so I won't be live tonight. We'll miss you, XO. I'm going to leave this till the next post. You'll see it. But which friends? Which friends do you've only mentioned like having 4 friends ever. So when you say I'm here to visit some friends, you got like people are going to wonder like which friends is she visiting? People are going to sleuth out your life. So you can't be that oblivious. But she still put it up and you can still see the crusty on her face right there. So the next picture she puts up is nothing beats Montreal Putin. I will do a homemade one for you guys soon. I will agree with her on that, okay? A Montreal Putin is like the best thing. They are delicious. They are so good. It's the gravy, I think, that really makes it. I found cheese curds locally that are like really, really good, but I've never been able to replicate the gravy exactly. It's an experience, okay? A good Putin really is. The post she puts up after that is the one that like really got the clown horns going. She's like, hey guys, just read through some of your comments and yes, just wanted to confirm that I went to Montreal with Natter. We got invited to one of his friends' barbecue. I know I have put you guys all on an emotional roller coaster with my recent life choices, etc. So I was just trying to be fake. I wasn't trying to hide the truth. I will not hide anything. You know this. I've even shared my diagnosis with you. I know I share a lot, and I know I F up a lot. See you soon, XO. First of all, I don't know why she's ending it that way, because every time she writes XO in my head, I go XO, and then I add another XO, Gossip Girl. That's probably also why I'm reading it in that voice. Okay, here's the thing. She says, we got invited to one of his friends' barbecue. Did both of you get invited? Or did Natter get invited? And Natter doesn't have a ride, and so he asked you to come with him. Because one of those seems like it's definitely much more probable than the other. And who are these friends of his anyway? Are any of them the people who threw money at you and told you to take your top off? Just curious. And let's not forget, this isn't the first time in recent memory that Chantel's just been randomly to Montreal, right? We have no idea. The barbecue could be a ruse. They could be there to meet with, let's say, friends who are cooking up something a little different. Last but not least, she says in this post, she's like, I was just trying to be vague. I wasn't trying to hide the truth. Ma'am, what do you think being vague means? It's literally trying to obscure facts. You're trying to present things in a light so that they sound different than they actually are, so that people get to a conclusion that isn't reality, right? You were trying to make it sound like you were in Montreal by yourself. And that's lying. That's a lie by omission. Like, I don't even know how you could think of it as anything else. And that's what I mean. People say that, oh, you know, you're a liar and people know you're a liar. That's a lie. Just because you don't qualify it as a lie doesn't make it not a lie. It's just as much a lie as it was before. I saw this and I thought of you guys because it's so true. I know it's not easy to support me at times, but for those who do anyway, I appreciate it. Hope you guys all have a great day. And the post that she has here, it says, I just wanted to say thank you for making me smile, even on my worst days. And this is so ridiculous to me because Chantel is by far one of the least appreciative of her audience like that I've ever seen. She has got to be one of the least appreciative people I have ever met in my entire life. Attention, remaining 10 enablers. All right, so I will be going live later tonight. I'm just letting you know that I will not tolerate any hate or drama in my chat tonight. If you want to come and have fun, then you are more than welcome. Otherwise, you will be blocked. I get that people don't like my choices, and I heard you, and now it's time to move on. Yes, I'm deciding that, and if you can't come and bees in a positive manner, please don't come or be blocked. I will also be blocking repeat annoying haters. See you later. I'll post in and out. I can't read. Oh my god, I can't read. I'll post an hour before I go. Love with a time. Was thinking of doing the Ouija Ouija stream tonight or something spooky and fun. I'm not giving up on Vlogtober, and since it's my channel, whatever I say goes. Okay. She unilaterally decides that, like, you can no longer be mad at her. I said you can't be mad at me, so you can't be mad at me. You don't get to dictate other people's feelings. Remember how you were saying that I get to decide what I want to do with my life? People get to be mad at you if they want to be mad at you, especially when they're disappointed in your decisions. Okay? And, fun fact, the Ouija board stream never materialized. Instead, she just went on incredibly high, and she just, like, talked nonsense for a while. And the entire reason for that, fun fact, is because she's like, well, people were saying, what if like actual demons showed up? I got scared, you guys. This is the girl who literally watches horror movies all day and night. You're telling me you got scared? Unlikely. You just didn't want to do it because it was like a tiniest, teensy weensiest bit more work than you normally experience. This is, a lot. So, fun fact, she put up the previous stream, the 10 enablers message that she put up. She put that up because every message, everything she was putting up in her community tab was getting ratioed like you wouldn't believe, right? It'll be like 800 comments, but like 70 likes. Like, it was insane. And so she was just getting so much hate, negativity on top of, like, everything was just snowballing on top of each other. And she couldn't get people to, like, be on her side. And that's the problem. It's even the people who normally support her were not on her side for this. So the next post she puts up, she goes, blocking everyone on my previous post. Tired of hearing the same shit. Just because someone has gonorrhea and goes through shit doesn't mean that they deserve hate. So please comment here and I'll block you. XO. I'm not tolerating anymore. I don't care if I have 5 supporters left. You lose some, you win some. Not kissing ass anymore. No need for you to be here if I stress you out. Bye. And I'm reading this and I'm thinking to myself, this is your moneymaker. Like, I know I say this a lot, right? But it's like, I don't understand, girl. How do you expect, sorry about that. How do you expect to do well financially? Like, how do you expect to keep making that 12 grand that you bragged to Negs about? Because like the way that you're blocking people, oh my God, you're not going to have any supporters left. And while I personally think that the demonetization of your channel could be the best thing that could happen to your health, I'm sure that's not what your goal is, though you really seem to be shooting yourself in the foot here, like a lot. After that, she puts up just a one-liner, classic, and it says, and I'm not telling you whether or when or if I got my blood work, so quit asking. And the thing is, I remember I saw this and I thought to myself, oh, this bitch has not gotten her blood work done. Because you know for a fact that if she had gotten it done, she would be all up on here being like, I already got it done. How dare you guys? This is why, I always keep telling you guys that I'm not lazy and I, take care of myself and I'm responsible. She hasn't gotten her blood work done. She has no idea if that thing on her lip actually is herpes or not. And I don't know whether it's herpes or not, but God, she should. It's her health. And more importantly, if he's giving you one sexually transmitted disease from having unprotected sex while cheating on you, shouldn't you be concerned about the more serious ones that are out there? The kind that can be life-threatening if left untreated? Like, fuck, syphilis is still a thing that exists, fun fact. The post she puts up after that, and by the way, you can see that the screenshots I got are fairly recent, but if you look at some of the older screenshots of these messages from Twitter, you will see that the ratio has changed. She's just been deleting comment after comment after comment. People are not having it. They are not willing to give her even an inch. And I know you haters are deliciously waiting for my channel to get deleted and for my supporters to leave. Weirdos love seeing others miserable. Well, some very sad but good news because I know you love it. I'm not going anywhere. The Lakma and the Beezing are here to stay. Well, the Lakmas are here to stay, I'm sure, up until you start losing limbs from the diabetes that you've ignored for this long. As for the haters deliciously waiting for her channel to get deleted, 9 times out of 10, anybody I've spoken to, they're not really looking for your channel to get deleted. They just want you to have consequences for your actions. And the thing is, you don't seem to care about anything other than getting high. And the way you get high is with the money you get from your channel. That's why people want you to lose your channel. That's why I say, don't make her lose her channel, because then she's going to become like a martyr for the cause. Demonetize that shit. She's never going to keep uploading when there's no money involved. And if she does, it's going to be so much worse. People don't want you to go anywhere. Stay if you want. And it's not that we like seeing you miserable, Chantel. You're miserable all the time. We don't have to do a damn thing. I haven't had to lift a finger to make you miserable. You're miserable because you make yourself miserable. You're miserable because you choose the worst options for yourself. You're miserable because you have no idea how to live a happy, healthy life for yourself. And I would feel bad for you if I didn't think you were such a bigoted trash heap of a person. The last message she puts up is this. So, I'm pretty sure this is the last one. No, there's one more, sorry. She goes, so let me get this straight. The channels and the audience of the reaction channels who make a living using my content and profit off my messy life want me removed from YouTube? LMAO. If you tell me to start looking for a job, y'all better as well. Don't try it with me when I'm bitchy and haven't had a nashi in days. You will never win. Win what? I don't have to win anything. You're already losing at life, first. Second of all, why does she seem to think that we don't have jobs? Most of us have jobs, actually. This is a hobby. There are very few creators out there that I know that are only doing this as their source of primary income. And the reason for it is, despite what you guys may think, YouTube doesn't actually earn all that much, right? That's why people start Patreons, people start memberships, they do all of those other fun things. You don't make all that much on YouTube, and whatever you do make, YouTube takes a very large chunk of it, right? Like they take 45% off of everything that you make in a video. It's a massive amount of money. So whatever people make, it almost gets halved. I don't look at this as a money-making endeavor. I look at this as a fun hobby that I do because it's a stress reliever and I like doing it. And I look at it as a self-sustaining hobby. So like I said, I've told you guys before, I already have like the sound equipment. I have to order my camera equipment. I had placed an order for it and it got canceled. And now if I order, it'll come too late because I'm not here for a couple weeks. I know I keep saying this, but so what I mean to say is that it's a self-sustaining hobby, but I don't use the money from this channel to do like grand things for myself. Like I'm not out here buying Louis Vuitton bags. First of all, I don't make enough. Second of all, your girl isn't that kind of bougie. I would look ridiculous in my secondhand clothes and my Louis Vuitton bag. All right, this is the last message that she puts up. She goes, so here is a list of things I've been accused of. Narcissist. And I'm gonna go through this and I'm gonna give you guys what I think are example. Narcissist. Yes, she's addicted to positive reinforcement and seems to have very little care about the feelings and emotions of other. Delusional. Yes, you're out here looking for non-cheating reasons for why your partner gave you gonorrhea. Liar. You just said in your previous post that you were being vague on purpose. Homophobe. We'll get to that one. Racist. Oh, no one here has forgotten the Charlie Cole situation, ma'am. No one here has forgotten your promotion of the Fatty Gold account, okay? And by the way, some of the things that Zachary Michael brings up in his video regarding the Charlie Cole account, the Fatty Gold account, I would really, really recommend that you guys check out his video. Like, I did not know that. I didn't go to, when the Fatty Gold account was around, I wasn't really involved very heavily in the Chantel show. I was mostly involved in like the Amber community, and while there was a significant amount of overlap even then, it wasn't like the 100% overlap that it seems to be now. So really recommend you check it out. Gaslighting. You gaslight your audience all the live long day. You say that, oh, well, you know, I'm so sure right now, I'm so sure that, you know, I'm never going to go back to him. I swear on my grandmother's, you know, life. I swear on my grandmother's grave that I will never go back to this man. And then when you do go back to this man, you turn around and say, I've never done that. You know, you guys know how I am. I shouldn't be held accountable for any of those words I said because you know how I am. You should know better than to believe anything that I have to say. And if we don't believe what she has to say, there's like, you guys just always accuse me of everything. You know, I've been so open and honest with you. I share all my struggles with you. How could you guys not believe me when I'm telling you something? It's a no-win situation for her audience, and she does it on purpose. She likes to walk this line. And that's what gaslighting is. Anti-Semitism. Well, she said anti-Semitic, but I'm sure she meant anti-Semitism. Do you guys remember when she told DC Media Girl to go react to the Holocaust? The famously Jewish DC Media Girl to go react to the Holocaust? That seems pretty anti-Semitic. And by the way, this whole rhetoric that she recently picked up from Negs about, you know, oh, because he's a white creator, that's why he got banned off the platform. Be very, very frank with yourself. This entire talking point of like white suppression, that somehow white people are being unfairly targeted on platforms that are primarily built by and for them. It's a talking point that is used by, let's just say, people who would have been holding tiki torches at some point. Bipolar and manic. Manic tends to be a part of bipolar a lot of times, but I'm sure people have accused her of both. I don't particularly like that. I said before that I don't think that Chantel particularly fits those diagnoses, but I'm in no way, shape, or form a mental health care provider. So nothing I have to say should hold any amount of weight. As far as, you know, anyone is concerned, like, my advice is worth shit. All of my opinions are simply that. They're opinions. If you think that you are not, you know, you might have something like that, then you need to talk to an actual doctor and get a diagnosis. And please don't just be lobbing those diagnoses at people. Don't use somebody who is like prone to having like maybe, you know, sensitive mood swings to somebody who's bipolar. It's not a nice thing to do. I know people use it very like colloquially. Same thing with like OCD. People who are just neat freaks like I am, you know, will say, oh, you know, I'm so OCD. They're not the same thing. They're both bipolar disorder and OCD can be very debilitating conditions. And I don't like the fact that people have basically reduced it down to a punchline. And I know I've been guilty of it in the past. This is not me like preaching from like on top of my beautiful white Pegasus of a high horse. No, I've been guilty of it too, and I'm sure I'll be guilty of other things in the future. It's just something that I have noticed that people do, and given the awareness on mental health the past few years, I hope that people would move away from that. And then she says, holy hell, all that's missing is murderer. All this from people who don't even know what the words mean. Which one of those words do you think we don't know what it means? I'm curious, because I've given you a literal definition and like the history, the provenance of the word gaslighting, which is the big one that she's like, you guys don't even know what gaslighting means. I don't think you know what gaslighting means. I don't think you have any idea what gaslighting means. Gaslighting means convincing other people that the objective reality that they're experiencing is not the objective reality, and instead what you say is reality. That's what you do to your audience. Are you kidding me, ma'am? Get out of here. Go talk to a real therapist and ask them what gaslighting is, and they'll be able to explain it to you in small, tiny words that your drug-addled brain might be able to understand. And I'm not saying that everyone who takes drugs has a drug-addled brain. I mean that she's literally on drugs all of the goddamn time. Which brings me to her holy hell comment. Because the fact that she's on drugs all the time and then she drives so very, very frequently in what seems to be a less than ideal state. Sometimes she's raving and she's angry and she's eating and she's driving. Other times she seems to be under the influence of something. And yet she's driving. So when you say, holy hell, all that's missing is murderer, don't put that energy out into the universe. Given how you drive, that might actually become a reality. And this was edited, by the way. She first put this whole thing up and then she went back in and she said, all this for people who don't even know what the words mean. As if she really knows what the words mean. I just want to say that there's like a little part of me that found it kind of funny, and that I was thinking to myself, like, what if she like went and she actually like looked up what all the definitions meant before she went back and she edited. She's like, well, I know what the words mean now. I know what they mean now, but do you? Have you looked it up? I don't know why, but that it just kind of makes me giggle. This is the clip that both Pulpy Syntax and Zachary Michael discussed on their streams, and I'm gonna let you guys listen to it all the way through. I'll give you some of the context that I have for this, and I would really, really highly encourage you to go watch both of their videos, because I really think you'll get the most amount of information out of that.
Something with someone fucking nasty.
For context, she is talking about Natter and who he might have potentially had the affair with.
Maybe a guy. I'm only kidding, but I heard that like it's transmitted a lot easier between like in which case I don't care. No, I heard that. I read that today actually. That's what the article said, Phoebe Lee. That it's not homophobic. Nothing wrong with being bi, exactly.
Okay. Look. There is a lot of history of the LGBTQIA plus community being demonized in a variety of different ways, right? Some that are more historical. So the context of her, you know, saying that, you know, must have been with someone nasty and then immediately following it up with a guy. That makes me think that, oh, okay, so she's equating the two things with each other, you know? A guy who potentially sleeps with guys might be nasty to her in her head. Those two words have a correlation to her. And that was something that was thrown around a lot during the AIDS epidemic. The reason I bring that up is because it has a ripple effect on society today. And the perception that people had towards gay people at that time was that they were disposable, they were deviants, they were dirty and disgusting. And so when they started dying in record numbers, nobody cared. Sorry, I am like a bleeding heart. You guys know this. I'm like a bleeding heart liberal. I can't help it. But there's some incredible documentaries out there that if you really want to see the extent to which our government failed an entire segment of the population, like I really, really recommend you watching it. And on a more abstract note, I also really recommend Lindsay Ellis's a video on Rent, which covers the topic very extensively and quite well. It's horrific. So when you sit there and you say things like, you know, I've heard that it's more easily transmissible between males, and you say, you read it in an article, if that's a fact, then back it up. What's the link for this article? Was it Breitbart? Newsmax? Where did you get this information from? Because this is not a reliable source of information wherever you're getting it from. This is not facts. These are not facts. Gay people aren't dirty or disgusting or carriers of disease. And when someone points out to you, hey, that's homophobic, she's like, that's not homophobic. Well, how do you know? Why do you get to be the arbiter of deciding what is and is not homophobic? That's why I'm going to try and say as little about this as possible, because I am not part of the LGBTQIA plus community. And I know that there's going to be some things that I will not be able to communicate as effectively because I don't have that lived experience and I don't have that scholarly knowledge. Why do you get to be the arbiter of what is and is not homophobic? Why is their word not enough? If someone is saying to you that, hey, you're being homophobic, just like when it was pointed out to her that, hey, you're being racist, and hey, you're being anti-Semitic, and hey, the R word is extremely offensive to people who have cognitive disabilities. Why is it that other people telling her that something is wrong is not enough for Chantal to believe that it's wrong? Look, it doesn't surprise me that Chantal seems to display a staggering amount of ignorance in a whole variety of different areas, right? A lot of these things tend to run together. A lot of the sort of privileges that she's been handed in life can make it difficult for her to recognize when other people are without those privileges and the way that it impacts their day-to-day life. And given that Chantal is who she is, she's not willing to learn. There's nothing wrong with having privilege. There's nothing wrong with being born a certain way or, you know, inhabiting a certain skin color or having just inbuilt advantages, right? My experiences are never going to be the same as, say, a black woman's or a black man's or somebody who is part of the LGBTQIA plus community. They're never going to be identical. So I can only speak to you guys from my own experience. And I can hope and pray that, you know, one day that if I am doing something wrong, that someone will correct me or point me in the right direction. They don't have to, but it'd be nice if they did. Or I come across the information on my own and I learn to get better. That's also happened occasionally. So if you close yourself off to those experiences, you close yourself off to criticism, you close yourself off to what other people are saying, you will never, ever improve. One of the best books that I have read, and by far it's not the only one or the most comprehensive one, but one of the most recent books that I read that really helped me understand race dynamics in a whole different way was White Fragility. And the author had been talking about how when she had been writing the book, right, how her experiences with people in her own environment had shaped the information that had gone into the book, and how she had built-in biases that she hadn't even noticed she'd had. And if someone who literally works in this field can have their world rocked by listening to other people and by being open to other people's understanding of the world, then all I can say is maybe we need to humble ourselves and put ourselves in that same position. Okay, that will be it from the video from me. Sorry if this was a little bit more heavy than a lot of my other videos are. I tried to keep it lighthearted in the beginning. You know, Chantel's like community tab post is always like so funny to me because this girl's like, I don't even have Twitter. I'm not even on Twitter. And then she goes and she like uses her community tab post as Twitter, except that of course no one can reply to her. So, you know, that will be it from me. This is probably the last video you guys are going to see from me for a while, unless I put up shorts or something or record on vacation, which if I get really exhausted, I might. My itinerary is packed, yo. But yeah, please give me a thumbs up, boost this video, share this video, tell everybody about this video, get onto your roof and holler about it from the rooftops as one does, you know. Print out papers, dress up like an old-fashioned page boy, and stand on corners saying, extra, extra, watch a YouTube video all about it. Do all those fun things. Leave me a comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Hit the notification bell down below if you want to know when I upload any videos right away. And I've got all my social medias linked down below, Instagram, Twitter, and Patreon. For Instagram, I would actually recommend following me there right now because I'm probably going to put up most of my stuff there. Probably not going to be on Twitter quite as much. Your girl don't need to be beefing people or saying stupid things on Twitter while she's on vacation, okay? And I've got Patreon. Think of Patreon as the tip jar for the internet. So if you like the job that I'm doing here and you want me to continue, consider tossing a few coins in my direction. You don't have to, and it's not necessary, but I really appreciate everyone who does. I wanted to say a special thank you to my patrons, my $25 patrons, Oceana Song and D. Higgins. And I wanted to say thank you to Sonia P., who has recently become a patron. I just haven't had the chance to amend the credits, and I didn't want to forget mentioning you. Thank you guys, all of you guys, so very, very much. I love you all. Have a great weekend. I'm Jasmine, the sequel, and I am not relatable. Peace. A special thank you to my patrons, Acrophobe, Ariel M, Christina, Courtney EP, Dainty B, Jam Beans, Sidra Z, Colleen L, Debbie Elliott, Just a Jude, Kate O, and a special thank you to my $25 patrons, D. Higgins and Oceana Song.